Pemirsa, meningkatkan kualitas hidup masyarakat tidak hanya bisa dilakukan dalam bentuk pemberian bantuan sosial. Penambahan fasilitas khusus bagi kalangan tertentu seperti manula, selain bisa meningkatkan kualitas hidup, ternyata juga bisa menjadi peluang bisnis baru. Simak perbincangan Alia Karenina dengan Benjamin Cash, CEO Living Well yang kini sedang mengembangkan proyek properti khusus untuk lansia.
Benjamin, thank you so much for coming to our studio, Bloomberg TV Indonesia. Living Well is planning to build this new concept of an apartment for elderly housing.
Correct.
Why Jakarta and why now?
Yeah, sure. We think the market is the perfect set of circumstances for a development of this kind. The development of luxury apartments based on condominium Class A specification within landscape gardens. Even 5 or 10 years ago, the market was perhaps too early for this sort of a product, but we think all the drivers are there right now. Much smaller family sizes, dramatically smaller than they were in the 1970s or 80s. A shift in the way Indonesians live from large landed homes to much smaller apartments. And of course, the workforce participation amongst women. If you accept women were the primary caregiver, more women are now enrolled in college education than men. Most families now within Jakarta are dual income families. Fourth aspect is life expectancy. Indonesians are living longer. People in Jakarta are living longer. So we think this product works right now in 2014, given all those key drivers.
I mean, seeing that indicators, the key drivers that you just mentioned, but socially and also culturally, I don't know whether it is acceptable to send our parents or our elderly to, we might not call it as a nursing home, but it's more like an elderly housing. But do you think it is culturally acceptable?
I think you've made a good point about a distinction between a nursing home and our product type. We are not a nursing home. We're not a nursing home. We are a luxury provider of seniors communities, which is a very different model. But you're right about the way in which Indonesian culture traditionally provided for one's parents. We would rather think about it as parents choosing to live in Living Well communities, parents choosing to live in an exclusive community like Living Well communities, instead of children getting rid of their parents. From all the focus groups we undertook, there was genuine excitement amongst elderly people to have the opportunity to live in a Living Well communities product type. Loneliness and boredom were rated as the #1 concerns amongst respondents. Second concern was a lack of security, both within their own home and within their general environment.
So this is a condominium, a luxurious condominium, only for elderly people age above 60 years of age, and it's going to be what if something bad happens to them? What's going to happen with the apartment then?
Yeah, sure. So first point is, other than the luxury specifications based on condominium Class A, there are of course 24-hour medical support available, 24-hour nursing support available, 24-hour panic buttons available in every single apartment, available to provide for any needs of a resident. In terms of the model which we've adopted versus the Western model, which has traditionally been a purchaser pays a bond, a family pays a bond to a developer, and then upon the end of a resident's life, that bond is then paid back to a resident's family.
Do you mind sharing how much money are you investing for this condominium?
Sure. Project worth is about 27 million for our first project, and those monies are being privately raised.
Okay, and that is, the location is going to be in Bintaro, Jaya. Any specific reason why you chose that location? Because the land there is not cheap as well.
No, it's not. Bintaro is very specific. The challenge for us as a developer and an operator of luxury senior residences is to find land which still has open green space, but is still close to family and friends. I mean, the reality is there are areas further south of Jakarta, like in Sentul, like in Puncak, which are beautiful green open spaces. The catch is they're nowhere near family and friends.
It's too far.
Too far. So we've applied the 20-minute rule. If you are 20 minutes away from family and friends, the product probably isn't going to work. So in Bintaro Sector 9, the market we're targeting is a middle-upper market. So that catchment area, as we like to call it, picks up Beste, Alam Sutra, Pondok Indah, and of course Bintaro.
Okay, now this is the first project, the first one of its kind, the first one in Indonesia, this elderly housing condominium. Now it is in Bintaro Jaya.
Yes.
Any other places that you're targeting?
Yeah, so we would expect to be rolling out different sites across Jakarta over the next 3 to 5 years, and I would expect within 5 to 10 years we'll be looking at developments in areas like Semarang and in Surabaya.
Even you've done a survey and you said the market is potentially good and people are actually very enthusiastic.
Sure.
And knowing this new concept,
Sure.
but what if it just doesn't work out? What if eventually nobody is, as to say, willing to live with other elderly person?
Sure. So
what are you going to do?
We're living in a city of some 27 million people. We're confident that the market here is big enough and mature enough to support different residential product types. Just as for some people will choose a studio apartment, just as others will choose a landed home. Just as some may choose a townhouse, others will choose an apartment. Both providing a physical need, providing a lifestyle need, and of course providing based on cost, because all of us are sensitive to various different price points. We're confident of a market of that size that there will be a product type right to be able to support a business like we're undertaking. We're only talking about selling under 200 apartments in Bintaro Jaya to begin with. And everything that our research has indicated is that that will do nothing to satisfy the demand out there.
Okay.
And that's why our plan is now looking well and truly beyond the first development, and why we're looking at rolling out this product under the Living Well Communities brand name, both in Jakarta and then into other cities around Indonesia.
But what normally scares for investors is like how the pretty much unstable of the growth, the economic growth is slowing
Sure.
down, and that's what kind of push them back a bit of
Sure.
trying to invest in Indonesia. That
Yes.
doesn't work for you? I mean, that
No.
doesn't scare you off?
No. Well, certainly we've had no issue raising funds. Both investors, both here in Indonesia and externally, have become very excited about this market. And what we expect will happen over the next 2 to 3 years is, in fact, a flood of developers targeting this same niche market. The security we provide for investors, and the security, in fact, that we provide for families, is that we are providing what is essentially still a bricks and mortar product. We are providing security of real land, a real apartment, a real luxury condominium. That can't be taken away. So any resident is given that HDB certificate or Hak Milik if they choose to upgrade it. But that's at the heart of this development is still a residential development in an area like Bintaro Jaya, which has enjoyed incredible capital growth over the last 5 years. So when you scratch the surface, the fundamentals are all still there. Demand for a residential product type, which is targeting a specific group of people.
Okay. Thank you so much, Benjamin,
Leah,
for
thank you very
coming
much.
to
Thank
the
you.
studio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.